the truth.
God does not act like a fucking human.
I'm the truth.
All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. Satan! 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 Baphomet, 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 Baphomet.
live, gang. We live. We do TikTok live, YouTube live. We live back again for Know Thyself Sunday, goddamn it. No, you see the Father, you see me, nigga. When you see me, you see the Father. We back at it. Folks, get up in them motherfucker. I know y'all used to getting it at night, but now you're getting it in the morning. In the morning. I be rocking this shit early in the morning. What we're gonna have going on here? We over here on YouTube. If you want to get the whole full experience on TikTok, we over here on YouTube as well. Just to let you know, get the full experience. Every Sunday we do a live reading. What the gang come tap in, and we dealing with know thyself, knowledge of self. Who is the self? Not the lowercase self, but the high self. Now, when we say the high self or the higher self, it may not be what is normally spoken of as far as it goes in spiritual communities, whatever the fuck you want to call it. When we speaking about the self, we talking about the uninvolved self, not the thinker, not the doer, but the observer. That is your true nature. Your true nature is to observe. It's not to observe. You are observing. There is no other thing that you can be doing. And we know this because we run through the 3 states of the mind: waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Everybody has the waking and dreaming and deep sleep aspect. All right? Everybody has the waking, dreaming, and deep sleep aspect. Zero Peace, my guy. Zero to Mexico hero. What's happening? What's happening, gang? We finna get into it today. We got what's this shit called over here? TikTok going on, and we got this shit over here that's going on YouTube and Instagram. We screaming in all 3 platforms. So we getting into obviously the self. YouTube, everybody already over here know, but I'm also speaking to the ones who are on other platforms, right? We got to get other people on other platforms to understand what is taking place here on Sundays. And we are here for the knowledge of self, not knowledge of myself. Myself is something totally different. That's the ego. What does the ego do? The ego likes to take ownership. The ego likes to carve out and say, I am this and that is that. Whatever that is, I'm not that, I'm this. When we come into understanding and knowing the self, we understand there is no separateness. There's nothing separate. One who knows the self knows that there is no separateness. There is an appearance of separateness. There is an appearance that you are somebody different. There is an appearance that you are somebody different and I'm somebody different from you. And our differences commingle or they bump and grind on some R. Kelly shit against each other. And get your ass in jail. The ego is that I always want to be acclaimed when there is nothing to be acclaimed. Right. That's what we got to understand. That people need to understand what the ego really is. We thinking that the ego is some super prideful, you know what I'm saying, person who thinks they're better than some fucking body. That's not the type of ego we're talking about here. We're talking about the necessary ego to have the manifest reality going. It has to take ownership. It has to. That way, a manifest reality can actually persist. I don't want to go too deep into that, but that is the case of the ego. You are what's keeping the matrix going. There is no matrix without you. When I say you, talking about the lowercase self. The lowercase self is who? The mind, the intellect, and the ego. Right? The mind is the matrix or matrix or matrix. That's the one playing the tricks. That is nature. You need to understand your mind is nature. Your mind is the illusionary And the body can be the benefactor. Sunshine Chick, what's happening? What's happening? I realize the true evil is the ignorance of separation. That's the true evil, that you think there's something else. That level of ignorance is the true evil. That's the only evil I will subscribe to. It's evil to not know who the self is, to not know thyself or the self. That's the true evil. Everybody think whatever political party is doing, I gotta watch it now because I'm over here on TikTok. I don't know what the fuck they got going on. Everybody think the old political party and all that type shit is what's evil and this and this and this and that. You have no you have no idea. Fear and ignorance is true evil. If you believe in a god or gods or source or universe, you will understand that that god or that what's the name cannot reveal itself to you if you live in fear or ignorance. Because the only way you're going to be in fear is because you're ignorant of the factor. Why do we have fear? Why do we have fear? Because we don't know. And when you don't know, that's the ignorance. Now, there's a different type of ignorance we like to talk about over here when we're talking about know the self or non-duality, right? So everybody showing up in the chat on YouTube, what's happening, what's happening? Drop some of them SOPs in a motherfucking chat, y'all. If y'all can hear me, if I'm coming through clear, video clear, let's make sure I pull up the text that we actually reading today. Let's see if I can actually. This way I ain't got to keep putting it up like that. So if y'all are on TikTok, we are on YouTube. I know people, I don't know. I guess y'all do YouTubes though. I mean TikTok, like y'all actually sit and watch. Me personally, I can't sit and watch a live stream on YouTube, but I respect everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you're joining over here, but I do it on YouTube. YouTube is the best platform for me. What the fuck? I know I just downloaded this shit. Man. Hold up, y'all. I know I just downloaded the shit. What the fuck? What the hell? Let's see. There you go. All right, and I need to actually open this shit up in the books. Oh, we can do it like this too. Yeah. And I think what we finish off, y'all, page 17. So technically, we got to finish chapter 1. Technically, we got to finish chapter 1. We ended it at the top of page, at the bottom of page 17. And then it's going to take us straight into chapter 2. Because chapter 2 short as hell. So, hold up. Hold up. Oh, we did do chapter 2, didn't we? We didn't get to finish chapter 2. So I got to change the title on YouTube. We didn't get to finish chapter 2. That's what the problem was. So let's see if I can actually upload the whole PDF into the motherfucker game. Yeah. It might not let me. It might let me. If it let me upload the whole thing in it, motherfucker, we gonna do it. Damn, only 0? It's all good. 0 to hero to come through, say the date. So let this upload, y'all. So we can go on and get this service going. For y'all on TikTok, if y'all did want to join Mynosis, MYGNOSIS on YouTube, you get the full effect. I'm not sure how long I always get kicked off of TikTok live for whatever the fuck reason. I don't even be doing nothing, bro. And they be like, I don't even be doing nothing, bro. They just be. Yeah, this might not be the full book, but right now we're just gonna deal with it because we at chapter 17. I mean, page 17, chapter 2. And we're gonna go to chapter 4. So if you're watching this on YouTube, let me know how good this shit look. Does it look clear to y'all? Is it clear? Is this shit clear? Let a nigga know. Let a nigga know some, know some. Let a nigga know some, know some. While I'm waiting for y'all to respond in the chat, TikTok, what's happening? Over here, we are talking about knowledge of the self. Travis motherfucking Mages, my guy, says it is clear. Everybody says it is clear. Here's the problem I'm having. I can't read the shit. Shit. I should have thought about that before I did it. Sorry, y'all. We're going to have to do the screen share. Damn, I should have thought about that shit. Oh, Trav said it's clear enough. That's the difference. Well, let's get into my fucked up perfectionist mode. What about that? Okay. Yeah. Okay. We're going to run with that. That way I can actually look at this off screen and still read the chat. Damn. Because I need to be able to read the chats, which they can get smaller over here. Boom. And pull this up over here. Goddamn eBay store. Got a lot of shit going on in the background, gang. If you don't, let me go to, well, shit. Fuck y'all on Instagram. Remove your background noise. If there is remove background noise. But let y'all know we are over here and we are on Instagram. I mean, YouTube. We on YouTube as we do every Sunday on YouTube. We talk about knowledge of the self. Obviously, we talk about it every day, but this is what we dealing with. All right. Damn, y'all, hold up. All right. So we left out page 17. We gonna I think it's important that we finish up this last question, right? This last question and answer on page 17. We are in chapter 2. So if you got the book, y'all know we've been having hard times doing the what's the name. This is the book. This is the book. This is not your average shit. Everybody on YouTube should already have it. You know, we already been reading it, but the camera and shit be tripping. And technological problems be having, so I found it easier to just read the PDF with the game. So the question says, it is cruel of God's play, aka Leela, to make the knowledge of self so hard. Right? That's how they feel. That's how people would feel. Like, why is it so hard? God must be playing a cruel game on us. We've heard this before. You know what I'm saying? We run with the demiurge is doing this and the demiurge is doing that. That's because we have not understood. We have not understood that that's the mind. That's the mind doing all of that. But here we go. Maharashi says, knowing the self is being the self. Let's stop right there. Knowing the self is just being. That's why I say, like, you really ain't going. There really it's a double entendre or play of words to say know thyself or know the self. What you're gonna find out is you're actually aren't gonna be knowing anything. What you'll actually be doing is just pure being. Pure being. Let's get into it though. Knowing the self is being the self, and being means existence. You hearing that? Being means existence. It looked like Sunshine Chick just dropped the PDF inside of the chat. I don't think maybe I could hold up. Maybe I could. Cause Sunshine Chick, you got a wrench, you got a moderator too. So I wonder will it let you actually what they call that shit? Pin it. Let me pin it. So I just pinned Sunshine Chick left y'all. See, Sunshine Chick helping y'all ass out. You ain't got the book yet. PDF. She dropped the PDF in the chat for you to have it. Done motherfucking tree. SO motherfucking P. My God. What's happening? Let me see here. And it says, and of course, Zero, the hero gets he always in Mexico, so goddamn it, he get a goddamn pass. Not the rest of you, Nichols. Knowing the self is being the self, and being means existence. Merry Sunday, motherfucker. Keep telling y'all, come over here on YouTube because the thing is you're not gonna. I guess you sometimes maybe you just want to listen. I don't know, but we on YouTube. So, and being means existence. So, knowing the self is being the self. So, and being means existence. So, existing as that, right? Existing as that. Rose of Flame, my dog, what's happening? What's happening? Hope it's all been good with your dog. If it don't look like it's good, it's still good. Because you good with me in the hood. God damn it, Rose of Flame, my dog. One's own existence. So knowing the self is being the self, and being means existence. One's own existence. No one denies one's existence any more than one denies one's eyes. Although one cannot see them. Remember that. You really can't even see your own fucking eyes. The way if I look into my woman's eyes, she'll never be able to see her eyes the way that I see her eyes, and vice versa. Think about that's some illusionary shit right there. Think about how that shit is like, damn, I've never really seen myself. The only way you've seen yourself is of a distorted point of view. A camera, a picture, all of that is a distorted view of the way you see. Now, that's already broken down in science. What you see is not really what you're seeing. Your eyes are taking in the information and sending it through processes. Then it shoots it to your brain or your mind, and then it creates the image. So you have never even fucking seen yourself. Now you talking about escaping the matrix, nigga? Hey, man. Oh, I thought somebody said something on TikTok. I don't know how to read TikTok live. I'm new to that. I don't know what it is, but TikTok been pushing my content out for some reason. I don't know. So one can although one cannot see them, the eyes you're talking about. The trouble lies with your desire to objectify the self. That's it. And here's the trick. Because we get the notion of saying know thyself, which sounds just like myself. We have objectified the self. That's where the trouble comes in at. Because who's desiring to objectify the self? That is the mind. That is the ego. Its existence thrives off of making things personal. But the self is impersonal. Why do humans have a problem? Because we take everything personal. My truth. This is my truth. We have to make everything personal. So if it's my truth, everything that does not fit into the concept of minds has to be obsolete, has to be the opposite. And ultimately, when you get obsolete and opposite that comes your way, you make it your enemy. But anyway, the trouble lies with your desire to objectify the self in the same way as you objectify your eyes when you place a mirror before them. You have been so accustomed to objectify that you have lost the knowledge of yourself. Listen, this is the same thing I've been talking about concepts. We have built our reality off of concepts. Reality itself, the concept of reality is the concept. And we talking about real. The only thing that's real here is the one that's observing. But let's keep going. Let's see. Oh yeah, what bro say? Well, oh bro, me and Trav, bro, we've been having some fun ass conversations. Bro, hit him with the our people must escape the matrix or the matrix. Like motherfuckers using Peace Corp Corpse Corporation. Peace. Appreciate you for tapping in. Our people have played around with intellectual word salads. You know what I'm saying? Let's make the word cool. And that, don't get me wrong, I'm fuck around with it too, because I'm a ex-rapper, so I get it, but that don't make the shit more realer. That don't make the shit, you know what I'm saying? That don't make you deeper. You know what I'm saying? But like we have said, like he said right here, you have been accustomed to objectivity so much that you have lost the knowledge of yourself simply because the self cannot be objectified. This is what I mean. When we talk about know the self or know thyself or know the self, we're looking at it as in, oh, that's something that I need to know. I need to go and get it and acquire it. Here's the trick. The self is nothing that you can acquire. This is why you get caught up in the loop-de-loop of concepts. Because when you get concepts, oh, I get it. Now you have acquired this concept on top of this concept on top of this concept, and you know it. Now you become wise. Because what is wisdom? An accumulation of data, of information. And maybe you can sift through it. Oh, that's this and that's that and that's this and that's that and that's this. That ain't got shit to do with the self. That has nothing to do with the self. And that's where the spiritual journey concept comes along. Because, this, I can identify that. I can identify this. I can identify that. I'm not saying anything is wrong with it. What I'm telling you, that has nothing to do with the self. Let me continue reading. Who is to know the self? Who is to know the self? Can the insentient body know it? All the time, hold up, all the time you speak and think of your I. Yet when questioned, you deny knowledge of it. What does he mean by that? Who is this I? Everybody has all of this goddamn knowledge. All of us as human beings have all of this knowledge about the external world. But when we get questioned, who is that I? Who is that my? Who is that I? You deny knowledge? I don't know. You are the self, yet you ask how to know the self. Where then is God's Leela or God's play? Where is God's Leela or God's play? And where is its cruelty? You don't even know yourself, but you know God is doing this to you. Or you know the devil is, or the demiurge or monitoring spirits is doing this. Who is this you that is being done to? We don't ask that question. That's why I keep saying the beginning is the end. The end is the beginning. My OG, a lot of our OGs who put us up on game or that we ran into so-called coincidentally, It was always know the self, not know the community, not know the people. Oh, relatable fit tips. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate you for joining. It was always to know the self. We just got confused up and objectifying it, making it about, and this is nothing against ancestors. This is nothing against spirits. This is nothing. I just need you to understand that you are not those. You are the observer of all of reality. Whatever concept that you can come, whatever concept you appreciate the gift, appreciate the gift. I think that's what that is. I'm new to TikTok live stream, so y'all over here, please bear with me. Please bear with me. I'm new and I do not know how it works. But we sitting here and say, oh, the world is doing this to this. White people are doing this to this. Mexican people are doing this. Or Asian people are doing this. The evil monitoring spirits are doing this. The demiurge is doing this. Yalabroth is doing this. Christians are doing this. That word is doing this. You know what I'm saying? All these things are doing this, but we have not stopped to ask. They all are doing this to me. Who is this me? Who is this I? This teacher has brought to you a method that's the most simplest spiritual method that you can use. Question the I. Like I say, it's not easy, but it's simple. It's not easy, but the shit is simple. I don't want to keep having to sit back, y'all. Hold up. Pull it out a little bit more. So let's continue. Hold up. Travis said, know the community. And become, oh, there you go. That's it right there. That's it right there, Don Tree. And become my stars. Save yourself first and inspire others so that you you inverse in harmony with your awareness. Which I said, know the community. I mean, hey, help others with your authenticity. And that's what you'll come to feel like, to come to understand and realize. And I remember Panic saying that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you will see everybody once you like Trav. You will see once he went inward and start dealing with himself. Once Don Tree went inward, once Zero went inward, once Coop TGS went inward, once you go inward, you will see that you will automatically start to serve some fucking community. There'll be a community of people who just automatically understand and get you and benefit from whatever your mind-body complex is saying. There'll automatically be that. And there'll automatically be people who's on the opposite end and in their own concepts who disagree with it. They're going to say, you're stupid, you're foolish, you don't know what you're talking about. You talk like a hood nigga, or you dress like this, you move like this. But you're going to automatically see. You become benefactor to others and they become benefactors to you. SOP, cool, what's happening? I got two phones, one for the tick and one for the tube. Hey, bro, I ain't gonna play with this nigga, bro. All right, come on, y'all. Facts. It's automatic. It's automatic, bro. So it's not me worrying about what I can do for the community. Knowledge of self or getting to know self and doing a spiritual so-called work at that standpoint of my time ultimately brought me to all of you motherfuckers. My Thrall, what's happening? Peace, peace, peace. It ultimately done that. So I'm not chasing and looking around trying to figure out what can I do for the community. Me personally, and I'm talking about my mind-body complex. I'm not talking about the self that we're about to talk about here, because that's how we get confused. We get to objectifying things. So watch this. So he says, when then is God's play and where is its cruelty? Because of the denial of the self by people, the sastras speak of Maya, Leela, and etc. So what he's about to say, he's about to tell you that Maya is just a concept that people had to, the human beings had to come up with. So the demiurge, the evil spirits, is a concept that people had to come up with because of denial of the self. When you deny the self, you see this shit in a dual aspect. When you see two, one's gonna have to be, the ego is gonna take one side. This is this and this is that, or I'm this and that's that. And what happens from that? Over time, that's I'm good, they're evil. They're good, I'm evil, and I'm cool with it. Like, it's gonna be those two in duality. And that happens when you deny the self. Page 17. Let's go. So the questioner. So y'all on TikTok, we're reading on YouTube, which is the same as my name, but on YouTube it just says my gnosis. So my YouTube channel is my gnosis. If y'all actually wanted to join and see the text that we actually read. So, because I ain't gonna lie to you, TikTok always take me down and have to regain access to it. I don't know why. So, and I put up a lot of short form content, but they be clips from these long form content videos. So if you find something you like here, definitely subscribe to YouTube, because I can't keep up with that TikTok shit, because this shit takes hours. Okay, Mothra said they like the early Sunday service, so we may be switching back up to the early Sunday service versus Sunday night. All right, that may be what it needs to be. Posadia, peace. SO motherfucking peace. Stand on principle. That's what we do. Okay, Courts Corporation, you say you can see me on both right now. Okay, bet. That's love. Relatable fit tip says got it. Bet. All right. That's mad love, y'all. That's mad love right there. Let's continue. What's it? Martha say too much salt for TikTok to him. Now TikTok, I always do some weird shit to me, bro. Like I would expect Facebook platforms to be doing shit like that, but TikTok, I always do some weird shit. So let's go, y'all. Let's go. We already 41 minutes in, and we ain't did nothing but one page, and we got 2 chapters to go. I think I might ask this question like Trav. Do y'all want to hear the commentary of me like breaking down like the text, or should I just continue to read with minimal amount of context? Y'all put that in the chat. Whatever the majority say, that's what I do. Maybe. Does my realizations help others? Is the question. He says, yes, certainly. It is the best help possible, but there are no others to be helped. Do you hear that? Hey man, listen. Does my realizations help others? Yes, certainly. It is the best help possible, but there are no others to be helped. For a realized being sees only, listen, for a realized being only sees the self. He does not see separateness. There is no multitude of people. So, just like the goldsmith estimating the gold in various items of jewelry, right, sees only gold. If I'm creating gold jewelry out of gold, all I see is gold. Now you see it, you get it, and you see a necklace, you see an earring. I mean, you see an earring, a nose ring, a pinky ring, a wedding ring. But as the jeweler making the jewelry, all I see is gold. Ain't shit separate to me. When you identify yourself with the body, then only the forms and shapes are there. But when you transcend your body, the others disappear along with your body consciousness. It disappears. So what do you? Because I know motherfuckers, we want spiritual powers and shit. So we're not talking about like the word just dissolving into like, You just, man, come on, man. People, I get we have an imagination. Like, we do have an imagination, but that's not actually what it's saying. So what is seen by the body, is seen by the body mind complex. But what I am, my pure beingness, it observes nothing different. So what are we talking about here? We're not talking about the everything, just all the bodies and forms that just go into one big glop or clusterfuck of nothing. The identity I have taken has switched. Well, I have realized my true identity. This is know the self. You have realized your true identity is not in the mind. It's the one observing the mind. That is who I am. I am pure awareness. So he said, but when you transcend your body, the others disappear along with the body consciousness. Is it so with plants and trees, etc.? Answer. Do they exist at all apart from the self? Find it out. You see how he hit you with it? You get to asking questions about all this other shit. Do they exist outside of you? Huh? Find that out. Quit trying to figure out all the other shit. Who is the self? What is the self? What is it? Who is it? So, do they exist apart from the self? Find it out. You think that you see them. The thoughts is projected out from the self. Find out where it rises. The thought is projected out from the self. Find out where it arises. Thoughts will cease to rise, and the self alone will remain. That's what we call real. That does not change. If your mind changes, you know your mind changes, right? You know your mind ain't as good if you're 80, 90 years old, your mind probably ain't as good as it was when you was 20. Your thoughts change, which happens in the mind. You have different thoughts. Multiple thoughts is going through your motherfucking mind right now. So you know your mind changes, your emotions change, your body changes. So you know the world changes. But who is that who knows things are changing? For one to be able to be aware that things are changing, one has to be one who is not changing. To notice a change, you have to know things are not. To notice a change, you have to be the one who is not changing. Who is that one who is not changing? I understand theoretically, right? He says, I understand theoretically, but they are still there. He understands it theoretically, but those thoughts are still there. So here we go. Here's the answer. Yes, it is like a cinema show. There is the light on the screen, and the shadows flittling or frittling across it impress the audience as the enactment of some piece, of some piece, like a piece of work, right? Like a piece of the show, right? If in the same play, an audience also is shown on the screen as part of the performance, the seer and the scene will both be on the screen. Let's read that again. So he said, yes, it's like a cinema show. There is the light on the screen and the shadows flittering across it to impress the audience as the enactment of some piece, right? Because that's how you get movie screens. It got to be a blank darkness flashing, right? Other than that, it would just be a light. You just see a bright light. So it has to be flashing and darkness in between each photo, right? Because we think the movie is just going complete, but there's just a whole bunch of motherfucking photos ran together real quick. So the in between is what he was talking about, right? So he says, if in the same play, an audience also is shown on the screen as part of the performance. Listen, if in the same play, that audience is also shown on the screen as the performance, The seer and the seen will then both be on the screen. Apply it to yourself. You are the screen. The self has created the ego. The ego has its assertions of thoughts, which are displayed as the world. Very simple, but very profound. The ego has its assertion of thoughts, which are displayed as the world. Your ego, your mind is the motherfucking matrix or the matrix. Who's observing? Facts, Trav. Who's observing? Don Tree said, everybody want to impress awareness. Nobody want to express awareness. God damn, dog. Everybody want to impress awareness, but nobody wants to express awareness. We are the camera looking how the movie unfolds. The projector. Come on now. For y'all that still rocking out with your Glock out on TikTok, what's happening? Let's continue to do what we do. All right. The ego has its assertions of thoughts, which are displayed as the world. The trees and the plants of which you are asking. So it displays the trees and the plants of which you are asking. In reality, all there is, hold up. In reality, all these are nothing but the self. If you see the self, the same will be found to be all. Everywhere and always, nothing exists but the self. Oh, my bad. Nothing but the self exists. This is the knowledge of the self. You come to realize that nothing exists but the self. Facts. Course Corporation. Come on. That's it. That's the only thing that exists. And when you understand that, you'll get what Travis Majors be saying. There are no enemies. You'll get what I'm saying when no obstacles will apprehend you. It becomes your existence because there are no obstacles. That's why I keep telling you there is no matrix that's holding you back. And what bro tell you, Trav? This word is just holding me back. I'm in between two worlds. It's stopping me from progressing spiritually. And that's basic, man. We ain't even got to go that far. But y'all get what I'm saying. He said, wait, but if the mind is matrix or the matrix, then how am I supposed to save everyone? That's just it right there. You're not saving anyone. And you save those that you think exist because there's no one to save but the self, because all is the self. So when you find self, simultaneously you'll figure out that people just around you seem to be saved. Motherfuckers just seem to be saved. You know what I'm saying? Because all you motherfuckers are saved. All you motherfuckers are saved. Yeah, I was talking about this yesterday. A lot of it is emotional marketing. Facts, bro. Facts. Or sus. I'm sorry. I can't tell. I'm sorry. I can't see the what's the name. But facts, Corpse Corporation. Facts. So, yes, I understand only theoretically. Peep this. The questioner says, or the student says, yes, I understand, but only theoretically. Yet the answers are simple, beautiful, and convincing. Even the thought I don't realize is a hindrance. In fact, the self alone is. Listen, even the thoughts that I don't realize, I don't understand, is a hindrance. In fact, the self alone is. Our real nature is mukti, a moksha, right? Liberation, freedom, right? Our real nature is freedom. But we are imagining we are bound. Man, come on, listen here. Check this one out. Check out what game finna say. Oh, my bad, sis. My bad, sis. All right, I got you. Got you. Our real nature is mukti, a moksha. Here, check this out. But we are imagining we are bound and are making various strenuous attempts to become free. You've been in bondage. The matrix oppressing you and suppressing you and oppressors and shit and demiurge monitoring spirits and devils and evils. You're this is why I say, listen, we have a hell of an imagination, boy. The imagination is not playing. You are imagining this and you're taking upon strenuous attempts to become free. While we are all the while free. The whole time you free. You imagining that you're not free and you coming up with concepts to free yourself. This will be understood only when we reach that stage. This is why I say spirituality is funny. It rubs people's concepts the wrong way. I ain't even gonna say their ego. It rubs their concepts the wrong way. What do you mean? Because I gotta do this and I gotta do this and I gotta say to people and this and this and that. Everybody ain't okay. This will be understood when you reach that stage. We will be surprised that we are fractionally trying to attain something which we have always been and are. This is why I say this is when spirituality becomes funny. Because you're trying to obtain what you already are. The beginning of all spiritual journey says, know thyself, know the self. In the end of the spiritual journey, what you're going to end up doing? Knowing the self. So now you will be looking back on all of that shit. It was like, damn, there was actually never a spiritual journey. I was only, all I had, it was like me looking for my hat on my head. I went on a journey around the house looking for my hat, thinking I lost it. Whole time it was on my head. So I just created a journey. There was never a journey. I created it. I already had what I was looking for. Is this making sense? TikTok? Anybody on TikTok? Does this make sense? Or just like the text says, there are no others to be helped. And that's the real reality. Our nature is moksha. That's what I'm saying. Our nature is freedom. You can never be bound. Take away doubt, then and look again. Come on. Imagination is really powerful. Totally. Facts. Fit with Mo. Appreciate you for joining Fit with Mo. Fit with Mo came from the TikTok. Said, fuck it, let me get on YouTube. This is where we be at, gang. So hopefully you subscribe. And we definitely want to welcome you over here to the Cosmic P Pushers, which is we pushing the principle that the whole cosmos is stood upon. And what is that? That's the self. And that's what we're talking about here today. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Everybody get Fit with Mo. A warm welcome over here on YouTube while we doing the goddamn thing. So anybody else on TikTok that want to switch on over to YouTube, because this is where we do it at, I appreciate it. If not, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? We ain't really putting no shit like that. I appreciate the subscription too. That's love. That's love for sure. All right, let's get into it. So we will be surprised that we are fractionally trying to attain something which we have always been in are. An illustration will make this clear. Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember this. Listen, a man goes to sleep. Oh, a man goes to sleep in this hall. He dreams he has gone on a world tour and is roaming over hill and dale, forest and country, desert and sea, across the various continents. And after many years of weary and strenuous travel, returns to this country, reaches, I can't say that name because that's an Indian name. We're going to call it Maali, and enters the ashram, right? Which is basically their temple. enters the temple and walks into the hall. Just at the moment he wakes up and finds he has not moved an inch, but was sleeping where he lay down. He has returned after great effort to this hall, but is and always has been at the hall. It is exactly like that. If it was asked, why being free do we imagine that we are bound? If that's the question that's asked, here's the answer. Why being in the hall did you imagine you were on a world adventure, crossing hill and dale, desert and sea? It is all mind or Maya, the illusion. That's it. That's it. I don't think that needs no explanation. Let's continue. Question: how does ignorance of this one and only reality unhappily arise in the case of a jnani, right? Which a jnani means one who has realized the self. So how does this ignorance of one and the only reality and one and only reality unhappily arise in the case of the jnani, right? What do we call this? The answer, the teacher speaks back, right? The Agyani sees only the mind, which is a mere reflection of the light. So here, this is the case. Remember, on for those who just now joining or maybe new, we did the video Dark Veil Lifted, where we talk about we have consciousness and reflected consciousness. Reflected consciousness, remember when we talking about reflections, we're talking about a distorted view. When we're talking about distorted views, we're talking about that which is not the real thing, but it's a mimic of the real thing. It's a distorted view of the real thing. That's what the mind is. All right. The Agyani sees the mind, which is a mere reflection of light of pure consciousness arising from the heart. Of the heart itself, he is ignorant. Why? Because his mind is extroverted and has never sought its source. What prevents the infinite, undifferentiated light of consciousness arising from the heart from revealing itself to the Jnani? Oh, my bad. And a Jnani is one who has realized itself. A Jnani is one who has not. So a Jnani would mean an ignorant one. They not saying it, and that's what the real way that they mean when they say a Jnani. Not ignorant as the stupid motherfucker can't tie his shoes and don't know his ABCs, but the one who has not realized the self. So the answer is, so he asked the question, what reveals it from arising and revealing itself to the Agyani? Just as water in a pot reflects the enormous sun within the narrow limits of the pot. Think about that. Just as water in the pot reflects the enormous sun within the narrow limits of the pot, even so, the vasanas or latent tendencies of the mind, there go those tendencies of the mind, those habitual things of the mind, those patterns in your mind, those mental impressions in your mind of that individual. So let's read that again so we can put it all together. Even so, the vasanas are the latent tendencies of the mind of the individual, acting as the reflecting medium, catch the all-pervading, infinite light of the consciousness arising from the heart. The form of this reflection is the phenomena called the mind. The form of that reflection of that phenomena is called the mind. Seeing only this reflection, the Agyani, the one who does not realize itself, is deluded into the belief that he is a finite being, the jiva, the individual self. You think you're an individual soul. It's not multiple souls, it's one soul. It's not multiple consciousnesses, it's one consciousness. There's only the self. There's not a multitude. Don't trip though, gang. We gonna keep going. Oh, Course Corporation. Appreciate you for sharing the live. That's powerful. That's love right there. That's love. Right. I didn't even know you can do that shit on TikTok. Damn. Appreciate that. So let's go. The question says, what are the obstacles which hinder realization of the self? What's stopping you, gang? Y'all know what? Here we go. They are habits of the mind. That's the answer. The habits of the mind. How to overcome mental habits. Check out his answer. By realizing the self. This is a vicious circle. Hey, this is a vicious circle. It's a vicious circle. The only way to overcome the habits of the mind to realize itself is to realize the self. You see what I'm saying? This shit be funny. Because what is he saying? Because every motherfucking thing is a mental habitual pattern. How do you think you build buildings? How do you think you talk? You have to build up a pattern. A pattern has to be built within the mind to start to speak. A pattern has to be built in the mind to start to think. A pattern has to be built in the mind to worship a God. A pattern has to be built to go to the gym. A pattern has to be built to eat. Everything is a pattern. Everything is a myth, because what's a habit? A pattern, right? Everything's a habit. Everything's a habit. Everything is a pattern. So how do you remove those obstacles? By realizing the self. Saying that's the only way. But chill, we gonna take it there. We're gonna take it there. Hold up. Because I want to hit my vape, and I can't hit my vape on TikTok because last time they did their thing to me. So give me a second, y'all. If y'all just join it though, please hit that like button though, y'all. Hit that like button so you know it gets out to people who it's for. Because obviously this is not for everybody. Talking like this, people are not trying to hear that shit. Everybody wants a lot of conventional feel good spirituality, and you know that's cool, but that ain't got nothing to do with knowing the self. That ain't got nothing to do with knowing the self, not myself. That ain't got nothing to do with it. So hit the like, share. Everybody who didn't share it, appreciate it. That's mad love. Now remember, y'all, I'm breaking down the text. We ain't even got out of chapter 2 yet. We really just read 2 pages. And if you just joining, what the fuck, Drag the puzzle piece? Oh, so if TikTok detect you not on the camera, they're in the goddamn line. Well, ain't that some shit? They really want your ass. Goddamn, gang. Can I peek? Can I take a pic? TikTok. We got 717 likes on TikTok. 717. Y'all know the number over here. Look, at 1 minute and 7. Listen, at 1 hour and 7 minutes. I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up. TikTok won't even let a nigga take a piss. God damn. I ain't gonna say it, but I'm gonna put it on the screen. Trav said it. For TikTok, get at my ass. Hey, now TikTok be tripping me out, bro. God damn, now we at 813. Like, appreciate the likes, y'all. Appreciate it. All right. So now we on page 19, y'all. It says, it is the ego which raises such difficulties. So who's the problem? The ego. And we're not talking about the regular ego. We talking about me. I identify as a copper tone native indigenous man, formerly known as a black man. I identify as a god. I identify as I am this and I am that, and this is a pen. That's what the ego does. The ego gives the shit an identification. So your ego is your personal identification system. Nothing more, nothing less. We got 1.1 thousand likes on motherfucking TikTok. Appreciate you. We go for hours. Got that welcome train going in here, Mo. Got that welcome train going in here. Travis said, I identify as. Shut up. Motherfucker always trying to run around and identify as some shit. Like, granted, do what your mind, body, ego complex wants you to do. But for those who know, they know. So it says, it is the ego which arises such difficulties, creating obstacles and then suffering from the perplexity of apparent paradoxes. You create the obstacles and you remove them. Who does that remind you of back here? Who does that remind you of? Why do you think I got that imagery of my nigga Ganesh? Why do you think he's sitting back there kicking shit? Why do you think he back there kicking shit? There's a principle that no way stands for no obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. It is the obstacle remover. The self is going to remove those obstacles. I identify as the self. And what's the self? I don't know. For those who know, you know. We don't know. It just is. I just am. Whatever it is that I am, I just am. All of this is I. And I am nothing. I am no thing at the same goddamn time. It is. Let go. So it says, it is the ego which raises such difficulties, creating obstacles and then suffering from the perplexity of apparent paradoxes. Find out who makes the inquiries, or the inquiries in the self will be found. You will notice something about Maharashi. He keeps telling you to find out who that is. Who is that one that's suffering? Who is that one that's going through hardship? Who is that one that's on a spiritual journey? And you will find the self. You will find out. All right. Questioner, why is mental bondage so persistent? The nature of bondage is merely the rising, erroneous thought that I am different from reality. Listen, that's your answer. All your problems rise from duality. You thinking there's something separate from you. Light work ain't easy. My guy, what's happening? What's happening? Salute to you and what you do, bro. Salute to you and what you do. Straight up. The difficulties comes from you think there's a duality nature. If you have a dual nature, there has to be something battling between. There has to be a right side and a left side. There has to be a right side and there has to be a left side. There has to be a right side and there has to be a left side. And you gonna think that you are different from reality. So you create a duality. Since one surely cannot remain separate from the reality, reject the thought whenever it arises. This is the negative path. This is the real left-hand path. In my humble opinion, from being a student of occultism. Hold on, y'all. Let me finish this little top part, then I'm going to hop in the chat and read the comments. Why do I never remember that I am the self, then, he asks. People speak of memory and oblation of the fullness of the self. People speak of memory and oblation of the fullness of the self. Oblation and memory are only thought forms. They're only thought forms. They will alternate so long as they are thoughts. But reality lies beyond these. Reality lies beyond these. Memory of ovulation must be dependent upon something. That something must be foreign to the self as well. Otherwise, there wouldn't be ovulation. That upon which memory and ovulation depend is the idea of the individual self. When one looks for it, this individual I is not found because it is not real. That's why he keeps telling you to figure out, who am I? Who is that on a spiritual journey? Who is that I who's offended? Who is that I that identifies as this? Who is that I that identifies as this? What you will find out, because that is the practice. That is the spiritual practice. That is a non-dual spiritual practice. To realize the self, to know the self. It's simply asking the question, who is this I? Once you continuously do it, speaking from experience, once you continuously do it, you will realize that I does not exist. That ego does not exist. It's like vapors. So, let me finish this last. What's the name? I'm going to read the check because I'm missing some. Hence, this I is synonymous with illusion. Yeah, that I that you identify with, whoever you identify as, that's the fucking illusion. It's synonymous with the illusion or ignorance. It's synonymous with illusion and ignorance, or Maya, or I can't never say that word, but that means ignorance. Advidya or agyani, right? To know is synonymous with ignorance, right? Those are all the words that means ignorance, or they can be synonymous with ignorance, right? To know that there never was ignorance is the goal of all spiritual teachings. This is what I'm saying. There never was a journey. There never was a time that you did not know, or that you were not. So there never was an ignorance, aka a I, aka a ego, aka a separation. Ignorance must be of one who is aware. Awareness is jnani. Jnani is eternal and natural. Agyani is unnatural and unreal. Remember, agyani means ignorance. Now let me read these chats. Fit with Mo say loving it here. I'm happy you did. I appreciate the fact that you loving it here. You know, we don't try to be rough. You know, I talk a little rough, but it's all this. Everybody on here is nothing but family. Everybody on here nothing but family. We respect and treat each other with the same. We have a little ratchet. At least I have a little ratchet aspect to me. And some of my ratchet friends. I love smoking cigarettes and doing things with my ratchet friends. Whatever bro said on the what's the name? What's that shit called? Boondocks. Creating obstacles in the suffering. Bro, that's the line. Facts. Oh, yeah, you reading that. Come on. Come on. Creating the what it say it's up here. It is the ego which rises such difficulty, creating obstacles and then suffering from them. You put yourself in a goddamn box, but I can't get out. You put yourself in there. And then once you figure out that you're actually not even in the box, you wipe your tears and be like, oh, I thought somebody was trying to get me. Tight shit. Creating the obstacles and then suffering from the complexity of the apparent paradoxes. This is the biggest problem. This is what identity does. Zero says Ganesh is part of the true self that really help. A beautiful energy is so fast and miraculous. Facts. This page alone has the answers for what, Bro, Trav, facts, Trav. Tracks. I said tracks. Facts, Trav. Facts, bro. Just that page alone. So gotta be a right and a left side, but both sides are inside. You can say that. You can say that because if you're speaking for in the aspect that both sides are inside, that there actually aren't any sides, and it's just this one thing that now because when you get to that point, what do you say? There actually are no sides. You see what I'm saying? There actually are no sides. So the left and the right side are two different sides under the illusion, but once you come to it, you understand like, oh shit, there aren't any sides. All that is just is. And this one, when we get to dealing with this non-duality, you start to see how we run out of words to use because there aren't going to be any words. Why is that? Why is that? This is what we need to know why that is. Because language is built on duality. Because the ugly truth here is all words are false. Oh, yeah, I'm going to say that right here, right now. All words are false because they are in duality. Words ultimately cannot identify or represent properly that which existed before the mind, that which existed before a duality of a right and a wrong, a left and a right, a good and an evil. It's not going to be able to identify that. It's not going to be able to do you the most just. Words can point you to. They're pointers. And that's what I say all spiritual systems do. They point you to. All these spiritual systems has one of those gods that was, goddamn it, non-doing, just in the background, just observing. All of them point to that. All of them have some type of concepts that point to that. A lot of people just stop at the Christ figure. The Christ figure is just a representation of that, right? To show you the way. This is the way. The way. The way to what? Ain't that what goddamn what Jesus said? I don't know the Bible too much. I know enough to know that the teachings, the raw teachings themselves, people don't like to hear that shit though, because we all left that shit behind. They not seeing the real raw truth principles that's in there. The way. The way is not the destiny, right? It's not the destination. It's the way to get to the destination. The path of ultimate negation. This is it. It's like the fish that forgot it's inside the ocean and is looking for it. The fish forgot it's inside the ocean and I was swimming through that bitch trying to figure out how to get back to the ocean. Nigga, you never left. There was never a time you were not in the ocean. Type shit. That's why the Zen tradition said if you think you found the Zen, then you don't. And you know you are. And you are more if you think you found the Zen, you don't. You haven't, basically. And you are more lost than you think. That's the trick. It's a paradox here. Because the mind will trick you. Hold up, y'all. The mind will trick you. Oh, yeah, because I could do the settings to where, like, this is not for kids. Oh, I can comment. Okay, hold up. YouTube. I ain't even know I can comment on my own video on TikTok. Oh shit. Let me put the YouTube title in TikTok. Boom. Can I like pin it? Pin this comment. Oh yeah, it's up now. They done gave a nigga technology. They done fucked up giving a nigga technology. She said, "Oh, most of the Zen tradition feels about right." All right, yeah, come on, let's go. What do we end it? We end it right here. So, having heard this truth, why does one not? Hold on. Having heard this truth, why does not one remain content? Because some scholars, internal mental impressions or tendencies, have not been destroyed. Unless some scholars cease to exist, there will always be doubt and confusion. There will always be doubt and confusion. All efforts are directed to destroying doubt and confusion. All efforts are directed to destroying doubt and confusion. All efforts are directed at destroying doubt and confusion. What is that saying? That's synonymous with what? Fear and ignorance. Those are the only two evils, if I've ever had to say there was. Fear and ignorance are the only two evils. That's the only sin that I could objectively agree with. And then that's not even true. But just to play around with words here. To do so, their roots must be cut. Their roots are some scholars. These are rendered ineffective by practice as prescribed by the guru. The guru leaves it to the seeker to do this much so that he might himself find out that there is no ignorance. Do you hear this? Let's read that again. These are rendered ineffective by practice. These are rendered ineffective by practice as prescribed by the guru. The guru leaves it to the seeker to do this much so that he might himself find out that there is no ignorance. Hearing the truth, or sravana, is the first stage. If the understanding is not firm, one has to practice the reflection, manana, an uninterrupted contemplation on it. Right? What is that? A meditation. Right? So, because you'll get people as soon as they hear it, boom, that's it. And if the conviction is not there yet, the firm conviction is not there yet, the guru will he's telling you how the guru gives it to the teacher, the student, right? How the teacher gives it to the student. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It ain't hit them after a certain amount of certain so-called talks, right? Okay, bet. Let me prescribe you something. You see what I'm saying? Let me prescribe you something else. Uninterrupted contemplation on the self. These two processes scorch the seeds of samskara so that they are rendered ineffective. You may get prescribed some bhakti yoga, which is devotion. Pick a god and devote yourself to it. You may get prescribed some karma yoga. Go do selfless actions and respect no return from these actions that you do for so-called illusionary different people. These help render those samskaras and help shave that ego down. This is why some people go in different paths. So-called different paths. Why I say so-called? Because they all lead back to the self. When and where, how long it take, how many trials and tribulations you got to go through. You know what I'm saying? It ain't. Whoop-de-doo. Sir Impeccable, my guy, and showed up. What's happening? You are awareness. Awareness is another name for you, the real you. Some extraordinary people get unshakable jnani after hearing the truth only once. Some extraordinary people get unshakable jnana or knowledge after hearing the truth only once. These are the advanced seekers. Beginners take longer to gain it, but it does not matter if you're a motherfucking beginner. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Because what I've understood, because we have these egos, and these egos, I ain't no beginner. I ain't new. I've been doing this shit. You don't know what you're talking about because the melanin comes down from the radiant versus under the universe that comes down through the toluberant milk of magnesia and flubberates through the collaborator of the carburetor of the ignition. And like, nigga, it's okay. All these goddamn words that don't mean shit. It's okay. It's okay. I remember Brother Panic told a nigga, like, man, listen, especially when I first ran into him, he told a nigga, like, listen, if you know, he said, you can lie to everybody else out here and try to sound deep, but if you know on the inside, you don't have this shit understood, nigga, go get the book that says chakras for dummies. Go get the book that says chakras for beginners, candle work for beginners, rituals for beginners and dummies. Do that. Because other than that, you're going to be feeding into your ego and you're going to figure out you're getting no fucking where. You're not having any progression. Because you're in a clusterfuck of thoughts from your fucking ego. It is just boosting you up, sending you out. What we call them crash dummies. In my city, we call them a deer. You set yourself up for the kill. A deer sees a car coming and just like, a car's coming. It's going to hit me. A car coming. It's going to hit me. A car coming. It's going to hit me. Deer jerky for tonight, boys. Lock them up. State property. State property. Dang, state property.
All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that old bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul.
All that bullshit ain't got nothing to do with the goddamn soul. Gang? What Trav say? You've been doing this 30 to 40 years. You can do it wrong. Listen, Trav, I always say that shit, real shit. You've been doing this shit, time in this shit. Just because you've been doing it, because you've been in it longer, don't mean a goddamn thing. You could be doing it wrong for 30 to fucking 40 years. If you're at beginner stages, okay, let's say this, right? If this is new to you, non-duality, here's the book to get. We read this. You don't even have, if you don't want to read the book, we read the whole book, chapter by chapter, every Sunday. We read this book on my YouTube page. On TikTok, it's already pinned. It's YouTube Minosis. That's where we also streaming it if y'all want to join on YouTube. That's your beginner. Or here's an even easier beginner. Atmaboda. You know, start. And when you figure out, when you're thinking beginner, this is not beginner. That's beginner, but it's not beginner. This is not no light work. Non-duality, honestly, not no light work. I mean, but what the fuck ever, man. Who cares? Doesn't matter because you are looking for the true self. And in the journey is the answer. I'm telling you. Even Guatemala has he needed almost starving to death for to realize he was a foolish man, and that's amazing. Okay, I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying, Zero. Yeah, facts. Because wasn't that ain't that Buddha real name? Because his name wasn't Buddha, right? They say he became Buddha, which Buddha is a concept of something, represents something, right? Trav said it. Fuck it. Stop looking for advanced shit only. Search beginner shit. Get down the fundamentals. That's why I like to talk about the principle. Let's get the principle understood. And if you want to go and deep dive into the minor aspects of it and how what's the name, perfectly fine. I love to deal with the principle because when I understand the principle of this shit, I got it. I got it. Now I can apply the principle every goddamn where. Let's go. Ramana Krishna speaks on this subject. Seek the essence of it, and after that, you can leave it alone. Seek the essence. Find the principle. Then after that, leave it alone. That's me. That's this mind-body complex. The most advanced knowledge has no words and no sound, but one want to listen, but no one want to listen to that. Yes, Buddha is a label. His name was that's it right there. That's it right there. I knew I wasn't tripping. All right, y'all, come on. All right. He says, how did ignorance arise at all? Ignorance never arose. It has no real being. That which is only knowledge. Why then do I not realize it? Because of some scholars. However, find out who. Listen, you see how I keep hitting niggas? Why don't I realize it? Okay, because some scholars I done told you. However, find out who that is that does not realize. And what he does not realize, then it will be clear that there is no ignorance, man. Find out who that is who's saying, I don't realize, and what he does not realize. And once you do that, once you find out who that I is, that ego is, that mind, that intellect is, you will realize there is no ignorance. So you think people are walking around here ignorant because they don't have spiritual knowledge. That's why I laugh. Because it don't exist. You niggas think you're different from me, but I know you are me. You dressed up, acting like you're somebody else, but I know you are me. I know you me. I'm a hell of an actor, playing all the roles like Eddie Murphy. I'm playing all the roles like Eddie Murphy. You playing all the roles like Eddie Murphy. Ray, what you got up your sleeve? You know what I'm saying? I know what a nigga got something up his sleeve. Bro, I swear to God, Life is probably one of the funniest movies ever made. I don't know why the fuck Martin and Eddie Murphy ain't did more motherfucking movies, bro. Facts are impeccable. The man with the million faces. And if you watch Game of Thrones, the faceless one, who Arya Stark became, she has no face. Because she puts on every face. Any face. I have no face. We ain't saving face, homie. Ain't no saving face, homie. We ain't saving face. Because it ain't no face. Do the name Smokey Johnson ring a bell? Do the man? Hey, boy. All right, come on, y'all. Come on. If there is, listen, check this out. Check this out. I know this don't sit right with folks, and it's okay. It's okay. The Rich Girl Collection says that's a good comparison. Oh, appreciate you for even joining. Appreciate you for joining the Rich Girl Collection. I don't even remember what compare. Oh, the Eddie Murphy comparison. Okay, that's probably what you're talking about. Okay, that's probably what you're talking about. Just in case you ever did, because we don't get to do TikTok all the time. They always fucking with me. We are on YouTube. It should have a pinned comment that says my gnosis. Man, it's my damn cousin. Get your ass on YouTube, man. Get your ass on YouTube, man. Oh, the Game of Thrones comparison. I didn't even know you watched Game of Thrones, girl. When the fuck you start watching Game of Thrones? You actually cooler than I thought you was. And I love you, family. I love you. Let's see. All right, come on, y'all. Here go the next one. Here go the next one. Well, you excluded, Ken Fogle, if you don't want to. You my cousin, so you can do what the fuck you want to do. But for the rest of you niggas, bring your ass to YouTube. So it says, then why do I not realize? Because of some scholars. However, find out who is that who does not realize and what he does not realize. Then it will be clear that there is no ignorance. So, is it wrong to begin with a goal? Is it? Is it wrong to begin with a goal? Here's the shit that you don't want to hear, but it's fucking fine with me because I get it. If you don't and reject it, that's fucking fine. You can still do what needs to be done. He says, if there is a goal to be reached, it cannot be permanent. If there's a goal to be reached, it cannot be permanent. If there is a goal to be reached, it cannot be permanent. The goal must already be there. We seek to reach the goal with the ego, but the goal exists before the ego. The self exists before the ego. If there's a goal, then you have to go through stages to obtain it. And we know this. Anything that you can obtain ultimately can be taken away. And not can be, it will be. This is regular, normal life without getting deep and spiritual. You're not going to have the house forever. You're going to die. And the house going to be left to the kids or whoever. Or the government want to knock it down and build a freak off building, a freak off Diddy mall. That's what's going to happen. It's not going to be there. You're going to die. You're going to leave it. You can't obtain, even with the body. The body's going to disintegrate. You can't obtain it. Anything that can be obtained is going to be taken away. I know you don't want to hear that shit, but that's the really shit. And when you accept it, you start looking for the real truth that you have always been the whole time. So let's read that again. If there is a goal to be reached, it cannot be permanent. The goal must already be there. We seek to reach the goal with the ego, but the goal exists before the ego. What is in the goal is even prior to our birth. What is in the goal is even prior to our birth. That is, to the birth of the ego, because we exist. The ego appears to exist too. Because we exist, the ego appears to exist also. Appears. That's the thing. It's an appearance that we're dealing with here. If we look on the self as the ego, then we become the ego. If the mind, we become the mind. If as the body, we become the body. Don't that sound like when we get to talking about the subconscious mind, whatever you believe and whatever you think, whatever concepts of your beliefs create your thoughts, and then that creates your reality? So when you get to living like and believing you the ego, you become the ego. When you get to believing you the mind, you the mind. When you get to believing you the body, you the body. But when you get to believing that you are pure awareness consciousness, and there is no death, there is no birth, there is no evil, there's no right, there's no wrong. It's all love. It's all love. There's no one that can hurt you. No woman no weapon formed against me shall prosper. There is no weapon. All right. It is the thought which builds up sheaths. Sheaths, for those who don't know the Eastern teaching, those are coverings. So sheath just means coverings. There's a different, we can go into the 5 sheaths or all the sheaths, but that's, like you said, in so many ways. It is the thought. It is the thought which builds up the sheaths in so many ways. The shadow on the water is found to be shaking. The shadow on the water is found to be shaking. Can anyone stop the shaking of the shadow? If it if it would cease to shake, you would not notice. Hold up, let's do that again. If it would cease to shake, you would not notice the water, but only the light. Similarly, y'all know I can't talk. Similarly, take notice of the ego and its activities, but see only the light behind. The ego is the thought I. The true I is the self. Question. If it is just a question of giving up ideas, then it is only one step to realization. Check this out, though. Oh, all I got to do is give up ideas? Oh, damn, it's only one step. So I thought it was a journey. It ain't even really no journey. It's just a one step. Check this out. Realization is already there. It's already there. The state free from thoughts is the only real state. There is no such action as, listen, there is no such action as realization. Is there anyone who is not realizing the self? Does anyone deny his own existence? Speaking of realization, it implies 2 selves, the one to realize and the other to be realized. There is no realization. What realization? But there's nothing to be realized. You already, that's what I say about this here. Once we walked, remember on the dark veil lifted, we went through the waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. This is everybody's existence, everybody's experience. Everybody deals with waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. That's why I like this shit. It gives you the everyday, day-to-day shit. You don't have to know a lot of spiritual, deep shit to get the understanding of what they're setting the parameters around to make you to get it to be recognized. Because it's happening every day. You just don't think about it. You are the one observing your thoughts. You are the one observing your emotions. You are the one observing your body. What's constant here? All those things change. Your thoughts, your emotion, your mind, your body. All of those things change. What's the constant factor? Observation. The observer is constant, never changing. It's always observing. What realization? Let me read some of the comments. We are that we seek. But until you realize it, you will be endless seeking ghosts. Facts, bro. Facts. It's that simple. It is as it is. Facts. Facts are impeccable. But let's go. What is not already realized is sought to be realized. Once we admit our existence, how is it that we do not know ourselves? You already know this. That's the thing about it. You already know. You already know because no one can deny their existence. That's why I say you can deny God. You can deny Jesus. You can deny Allah. You can deny Abraham. You can deny goddamn everybody. You can deny the earth is round or flat. You can deny 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th dimension. You can deny everything ever. But you cannot deny that you exist. And how do they describe consciousness? They call it Brahman, right? And how is it described? Existence, consciousness, bliss. Existence, knowledge, bliss. Existence, knowledge, existence, knowledge, and whatever the fuck I just said. Existence, awareness, bliss. They're not three separate things. It's one thing. That's you. That's your existence. That's who you are. That's who you always be. You can never be anything different. Because of these thoughts, the mind. Hold on. How is it that you do not know who? How is it that we do not know ourselves? The questioner says, because of thoughts, the mind. Quite so. It is the mind that veils our happiness. How do we know that we exist? If you say because of the world around us, then how do you know that you exist in deep sleep? Y'all already know about the deep sleep shit. Let's keep going. How to get rid of the mind. It is the mind that wants to kill itself. It is the mind that wants to kill itself. The mind cannot kill itself. Hold up. He said, is it the mind that wants to kill itself? The mind cannot kill itself. So your business is to find the real nature of the mind, the source. Where does that mind come from? Then you will know that there is no mind. When the self is sought, the mind is nowhere. Abiding in the self, one need not worry about the mind. What is he saying here? If you're abiding in awareness, there is no need to worry about the mind. Why do you not need to worry about the mind? Because the mind has its nature, its illusionary nature in thoughts, activity, movement. Thoughts are going to be there. Yes, thoughts are going to be there. That's going to happen because that's its nature. But you are not those thoughts. I am not my body or my mind, my nigga. Question: is mukti the same as realization? Mukti or liberation is our nature. It is another name for us. Our wanting mukti is a very funny thing. See what I'm saying? The shit gets funny. And y'all know why it's funny now. Because what liberation? You as the self are already free. You as the self are already free. It is like a man who is in the shade, voluntarily leaving the shade, going into the sun, feeling the severity of the heat, feeling the severity of the heat there, making great efforts to get back into the shade and then rejoicing. That's what you're doing when you're talking about going for liberation and freedom and breaking out the matrix. You're already inside the shade, not getting burnt up by the sun. You put yourself out there into the heat to get burnt up by the sun and then run back into the shade and then rejoice, saying, how sweet is the shade? I have reached the shade at last. How sweet is the spiritual journey? The journey I have completed. At last, I finally done it. Nigga, what? We are all doing the exact same. We are not different from the reality. We imagine we are different. That is, we created the beva, or the feeling of difference, and then undergo the great sadhana, or spiritual practices. Listen, we created that. We created the feeling of being different and then put ourselves under spiritual practices to get rid of the feeling of being different and realizing oneness. Why imagine or create the feeling of being different and then destroy it? Why? Why? Why would you create the difference and then just ultimately to destroy it? You've created an illusion that you are going through something, and then you come up with the idea of how to get over something which you were never going through in the first place, and then you get happy when you overcome it. That's just what it is. Empress Divine, peace, what's happening? If people will understand that we are all there, is our concepts or our thoughts, our purpose or being, it's all one. Look at the animal and nature. They just are, and everything happens as it should. Facts. That's it, cool. Who am I is the only real question. If you're just joining on TikTok, we are. If you find this appeasing, we are on YouTube under my gnosis. It should be typed into. It should be typed into the what is it? What's the shit called? The pinned comments. Just throwing that out there because TikTok is really made for short form content, and I try my best to keep up with it. But YouTube is the main domain. Coop says the only real question is who am I? All questions are shadows of this one fucking question, bro. On God it is, bro. On God. On God, man. That's the only real question. That's the only real question. Figure out who that I is. Let's go. This can be realized only by the grace of the master. This is what the questioner is saying. Let's see what the teacher says after this. He says, this can be realized only by the grace of the master. I was reading Sri Bhagavad on the Sri Bhagavata. It says that that bliss can be had only by the dust of the master's feet. I pray for your grace. Check this out. What is bliss but your own being? Nigga, you are not apart from the being which is the same as bliss. You are now thinking that you are the mind and the body, which are both changing and transient, but you are unchanging and internal. That is what you should know. You getting caught up in trying to worship the guru and thinking that there's a human body, you're a human body, and he can lay his hands on you and give you some magical powers. Now, granted, he is Sri Ramana Maharshi, a Bhagavan, is perceived as a guru. But the ultimate guru is the self. Not the ultimate, the only guru. Why? Because he don't exist. Only you as that person, you as a person don't exist, but only you exist. So he is you. You is him. You are the bliss is what he's telling you. That's what you need to know. Question. It is darkness and I am ignorant. Answer. Ignorance must go. Again, who says I am ignorant? He must be the witness of ignorance. That is what you are. He's even quoting Socrates. Socrates says, I know that I do not know. Can it be ignorance? It is wisdom. Facts, Mothra. Facts, Mothra. Facts. You worshiping a guru, and the guru is you. Socrates said, I know that I do not know. Can it be ignorance? No, it is wisdom. So what does that mean? Even in your ignorance, nigga, you still divine. Even in under the illusion that you ignorant. So when you say you don't know, I know that I don't know. You know. You still are in knowing. Know the self. Know that self. Come on, man. Come on. See the paradox of this shit? You ultimately understand. Ain't no paradox. All right. Can the feeling in this place be bliss? When you leave this place, you say you are oh, damn, I skipped something. So the question says, why then do I feel unhappy when I am in velour and feel peace in your presence? Can the feeling in this place be bliss? When you leave this place, you say you are unhappy. Therefore, this peace is not permanent. It is mixed with unhappiness, which is felt in another place. Therefore, you cannot find bliss in places and in periods of time. You're not going to find it in a place. You're not going to find it in a time. It is permanent. It must be permanent in order that it may be useful. It is your own being which is permanent. So what is he saying here? Your existence, who you are, is really the happiness. So when motherfuckers say you can't love nobody till you love yourself, you can't be happy unless you happy yourself. You ain't gonna find happiness and all of these things. What do you think humans are looking for? All humans are looking for to try, especially in America, we're looking for to buy things to be happy or acquire more things. Women want to acquire men, men want to acquire women, and then we want to acquire a house and home, and then we want to acquire cars and this and be happy. And none of it makes nobody fucking happy. No, none of it makes anybody fucking happy. It never has and it never will. Because you haven't realized that you are the source of happiness. You think when I hit my vape, I get happy? Like the vape drop off a hint of happiness in this motherfucker? No, happiness already is in me and it arises out of me. The trick is here to get to notice how to stay within that shit. Man, can't nobody do shit to you. Can't nobody offend you. Can't nobody harm you. Can't nobody take it away from you because they can't give it to you, homie. Be the self, and that is bliss. Be the self, and that is bliss. Yo, if y'all on TikTok, we on YouTube. Be the self, and that is bliss. You are always that. You are always that. Do you hear what he's saying? You are always that. You're never not gonna be it. You just need to have the conviction of this shit, homie. That's it. That's it right there. That's it. Don Tree said, now here, nowhere. Now here, nowhere. Now here is nowhere. God damn it, my boy. Gems. Mothra said, you are happiness. Sat Chit Ananda. Come on. Come on. The self is always realized. It is not necessary to seek spiritual seekers, truth seekers. It's not necessary to seek to realize what is already and always realized. For you cannot deny your own existence. That existence is consciousness, the self. Unless you exist, you cannot ask questions. How can you ask questions unless you exist? What question? This is why I say the mind only exists in the body. Can you even perceive the mind? Can you feel anything can you even perceive the body? Can you have a thought of a body? Can you have a thought of breasts, ass, titties, dick nut balls? Can you even have that thought if you don't have a mind? Can you even have that thought? Can you even have a mind if you don't have awareness, if there is no awareness? Your body exists in the mind. The world exists in the mind. And all of that exists within consciousness. So you must admit your own existence. That existence is the self. It is already realized. Therefore, the effort to realize results only in your realizing you persist. Let's do it again. That existence is the self. It is already realized. Therefore, the effort to realize results only in your realizing your present mistake that you have not realized the self. There is no fresh realization. Let's read that again. Therefore, the effort to realize results only in your realizing your present mistake. Oh, so trying to make the effort to realize itself is your mistake, is what he's saying. That you have not realized yourself. There is no fresh realization. There's no new realization. You already realized. So here you go trying to have a new fresh realization under the illusion that you have not realized. Paradoxical, ain't it? The self becomes revealed. That takes some years. Listen, the questioner says that would take some years. He says this. Why years? The idea of time is in your mind. It is not in the self. There is no time for the self. Time arises as an idea after the ego arises. But you are the self beyond time and space, my nigga. Beyond time and space, my nigga. As what Zero said, as Trav said, we seeking the sensations behind all the things and experiences. You see how he not letting none of that mind game shit come in play. Oh, well, it'll take years and I ain't got time to do it. I got kids. I got a wife. I got what time? What space? That's a concept in your mind that came after the ego. The concept of the ego. You are beyond time and space. Not you as the body and the mind. Of course, that motherfucker is going to diminish, break down, and die. It has to. But you, the real you, the self, my niggas. I ain't even been checking on Instagram. When you get it from yourself, can't nobody give it or take it from you. Facts. Is it decode? Decode, yo, bro. We over here on YouTube. I would definitely say join us on YouTube. But I know some people like to actually watch on Instagram, which is cool. We on YouTube. We on YouTube though, brother. And I put it in the chat at the top. So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube, come on over here to YouTube. Let's see. All right. You exist even in the absence of time and space. Were it true that you realized it later, it means that you are not realized now. Absence of realizations, absence of realization in the present moment may be repeated at any moment in the future, for time is infinite. So too, such realization is impermanent. But that is not true. It is wrong to consider realization to be impermanent. It is the true eternal state which cannot change. Questioner: yes, I shall understand it in the course of time. Here we go again, back at it again. You are already that, nigga. Time and space cannot affect the self. They are in you. So, also, all that you see around you is in you. There is a story to illustrate to this point. Let's get to the story. What does he say? A lady had a precious necklace around her neck. Once on her excitement, once in her excitement, she forgot it and thought that the necklace was lost. She became anxious and looked for it in her home but could not find it. She asked her friends and neighbors if they knew anything about the necklace. They did not. At last, a kind friend of hers told her to feel the necklace around her neck. She found it and had it all along been around her neck. She was happy. When others asked her later if she had found the necklace, which was lost, she said, yes, I found it. She still felt that she had recovered a lost jewel. It's just like niggas looking for your same store I be using. You lost your hat, it's sitting on top of your head. You lost your glasses, they sitting on top of your head. And then you will still have the nerve to say, oh, I found my hat. It was on my head. Oh, I found my glasses. It was on my head. There was no finding. It was just a realization that it was there the whole time. Hey, man. Oh, okay. Okay. Appreciate you for coming over from IG, brother. Appreciate you for coming over from IG. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, okay, yeah, well, you already over here now. So it says this. Now, did she lose it at all? It was all along around her neck. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button too, bro. And y'all if y'all haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Y'all know what it do. Help other motherfuckers to come and see what we do on the YouTube. God damn it. It was all along around her neck. Yeah, that type shit. Can't find the phone that's in your pocket. But judge her hold on. All along it was around her neck. But judge her feelings. She was happy if she had recovered a lost jewel. Similar with us. We imagine that we will realize the self sometime. whereas we are never anything but the self. Let's see what Zero said. Recently, I was looking the human body as a machine made of earth element accumulated through the years to this point, and change a lot the way you saw the body. Even that I recognize as physical. You know, Coop said, "Man, that story of the necklace is literally the story of the human race." Facts. No, beauty doesn't matter. In the end, the world is empty. Now, facts, Trav. Facts, Trav. Facts, Trav. That one, you are trying to stay consistent with it. Trying to stay consistent with it. Mr. Todd Wright, what's happening? Love you, man. Ain't talked to you forever, but I love you, man. Love you, dog. I'm like, who the fuck is Todd Wright? I know that nigga Todd Wright. Todd Wright, my nigga. Oh, man. So, there must be something that I can do to reach this state. The conception that there is a goal and a path is wrong. The conception that there is a goal and a path to it is wrong. We are the goal. Or peace, always. You are the goal. So that's why I say the beginning of the journey and the end of the journey is the same goddamn thing. Everything in the middle is an illusion. Everything in the fucking middle is an illusion. To get rid of the notion that we are not peace is all that is required. To get rid of the notion that we are not peace is all that is required. To get rid of the notion that we are not peace, that we are not happiness, that we are not love, that we are not the self, that you are not God, that you are having enemies. Get rid of that notion. That's all that's required. Granted, right? Very fucking simple. Very fucking simple. But it is not easy. Very fucking simple. But it's not easy. And once you get to notice in spiritual paths and spiritual systems, that's what all they're trying to get you to do. What I found is that, and I don't blame systems. You can, but you can't, because there's nobody to blame. We learn a lot of concepts, and with those concepts, we take on the characters. We like to, you know how when we grew up, oh, I'm the Red Ranger, I'm the Black Ranger, I'm the White Ranger. No, I'm the White Ranger. I'm the White. No, I'm the Black Ranger. I'm the Green Ranger. Everybody wanted to take on that identity of that concept. Why did people fight over the different fucking Power Rangers? Because everybody wanted to identify, or people seeing something that they can identify within that character. Let's get it. All books say that the guidance of guru is necessary. Answer. The guru will say only what I am saying now. He will not give you anything you have not already got. It is impossible for anyone to get what he has not got already, man. It is impossible for anyone to get what he has not gotten, what he has not got already. Even if he gets such a thing, it will go as it came. What comes will also go. What always is, what always is will alone remain. The guru cannot give you anything new. The guru cannot give you anything new, which you do not have already. Removal of the notion that we have not realized the self is all that is required. We are always the self only. We do not realize it. We go around and around in search of Atma, the self, saying, where is this Atma? Where is it? till at last the dawn of jnana or jnana drishti, or the vision of knowledge, is reached, and we say, "This is Atma. This is me." We should acquire that vision. When once that vision is reached, we will listen. There will be no attachments, even if one mixes with the world and moves about in it. Once you have that shit, that realize once that shit dawns on you, the vision of knowledge. Once you have that realization, it doesn't have to literally be a vision. That's a word to use. You move around the world like a normal nigga. I still talk like a normal nigga. Still hit the vape. Still eat the chicken gizzards like a normal nigga. Oh, damn. Hold up. Translate vision. Darshan. That one pointed focus. Vision. Darshan. Once you have that, Darshan, or Dharana means one pointed. Once you have that Darshan, damn, I'm missing comments. Hold up. Let me finish the paragraph, y'all. Once you put shoes on your feet, do not feel the pain walking of. Hold on. Once you put on shoes, your feet do. They need to put a comma right there. Your feet do not feel the pain of walking on any number of stones or thorns on the way. You walk about without fear or care, even if there are mountains on the way. In the same way, everything will be natural to those who have attained jnani drishti. Huh? What is there apart from one's own self? Now let's go back. We are the path. Man, I dropped a video one day and Coop TGS commented on an 8-year-old video where I was literally talking about the same exact thing. After all this time, the books and the learnings, same play, same play, same play. I think that's what Trav's saying. The whole time, Trav. The whole fucking time, though. The whole fucking time. Hey, and Coop TGS is known for that. That boy will go back through some shit. I fuck with Coop, bro. Coop is not a bullshitter. Coop is not a bullshitter. And then you see what that did? That sparked that thing back in you to remember, like, damn, the whole. Yep. There is nothing to do. Reach once. There is nothing to do or reach once you truly understand that it's like a weight lifted off. Facts. Can't make this shit up. Honestly, I found that video because I wanted to see when you started wearing your black shroud. Okay. Vision with Darshan. Take me through there. Take me through there. Where we going, twin? Take me through there. Take me through there. Out of there. Ooh, she gone. Taking her through there. Oh, Trav said Darshan means gnosis as well, which means the same thing as Gyani, right? Gyani, knowledge. Knowledge itself. Not knowledge of things, but knowledge itself. So you are Darshan. You are Gnosis. You are Gyani. You are the self. Let's go. The natural state cannot be known. Listen, the natural state can be known only after all this worldly vision subsides. But how is it to subside? The mind subsides. The world subsides. Mind is the cause of all of this. Your mind is the ego. Mind is the cause of all of this. If that subsides, the natural state presents itself. The self proclaims itself. Hold up. The self proclaims itself at all times as I. It is the self-luminous. It is here. All that is, all this is that. My bad. All this is that. It is self-luminous. It is here. All this is that. We are in that only. Being in it. Why search for it? If you're in it, why search for it? Why go on a spiritual search? Why be a truth seeker? You are the truth. So you're going to figure out the truth that you're seeking is you. The ancients say, making the vision absorbed in Jnani, one becomes the world. Making the vision absorbed in Jnani, one sees the world as Brahman. Oh, so there's a part 2 to chapter 3. Yeah, I don't think we're going to. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pages left, y'all. We're going to try to keep this shit under 4 hours this time. Y'all know we don't bullshit. We're going to try to keep this shit under 4 hours this time. Hold up. Let me get a sip of my wine. How y'all feeling about this so far? If you in the chat and you fucking with this, put, y'all know, drop SOP in the chat. I will not continue to read this next chapter after I sip my goddamn water. I won't continue if y'all don't drop SOPs, man. Woo! Bring them out. Bring them out. It's hard to yell when that back rail's in your mouth. Gotta do a little stretch or something. Shit. I need to see some SOPs in the chat if we're gonna continue to read, man. If y'all fucking with it, man. Hey, man. Come on, man. Quit playing, man. I told the motherfucker, hey, man, I found all my answers that I need for spirituality. I found it. I have no more questions. I have no more questions. Not that doesn't mean I won't ask questions and ask this and this and that. That's not what I mean. But there's no deep, burning question that I have in me to know anymore about manifest reality and how it works out. Shout out to Trav. Put me on top with Shooty. And then after 12 years in the occult, applying what the fuck Panic and Bobby gave us, actually applying it and going inward, and then coming over understanding the tree of life that brought me to this non-dual Advaita Vedanta. All the questions were nothing but what Coop say. All the questions are nothing but shadows of the one true question: who am I? I don't see now one SOP in the chat. Nickel. All right. I see SOPs. I'm just fucking with y'all. Let me see though. Trav said, if you enjoyed chapter 3, wait till you see chapter 3, part 2. Okay. Let's see, did I even get that far in the book? Chapter 3. Don't look like I highlighted shit. I like to bounce around. I'm all the way back here and shit. I think I was just going off the titles of the book, or the titles of the, what's her name? Because I read chapter 1, but don't look like I got no highlighters in chapter 3. So this will be my first time reading this chapter with y'all. So we all reading for the first time together. As you can tell, Trav, this motherfucker been going ahead. He one of them niggas in class that be done with his work before the bell ring. SOP every day. SOP. Woo! God damn it. S.O. motherfucking P. S.O.P. S.O. motherfucking P. Standing on principle, standing on purpose. And that is our standard operating motherfucking procedure. It's hard to yell when that butt rail in your mouth. Hey, chill out. Gay. If you're on TikTok, we are on YouTube, where you can see what we actually reading, and the rest of the chat is actually it. You can hop over here and converse if you want to. If not, we ain't tripping. S.O. motherfucking P. Hey, yeah. I'm a hat collector, bro. Because I got this big ass head. No, I'm just fucking with you. I put the shit on to match the outfit. Tight shit. But yeah, bro, I do collect hats, bro. I got a rack full of them motherfuckers. And I ain't bought none in a minute. I don't know. I guess I ain't had no desire to buy no more hats. But yeah. Looks like the game ready, y'all. Let's hit chapter 3. We got 7 pages in chapter 3. And we'll be out this bitch. Chapter 3 is called The Gyani. The Gyani. Shit. All right, TikTok, we're going to go and get up out of here because I'm tired of ducking off to try to find to hit my goddamn bait, and TikTok don't like that. So what I'm going to do is, if you on TikTok, we are on YouTube as My Gnosis. I pinned it in the chat, and that's where we at. So appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. We're going to go on and get up out of here. TikTok did exceptionally well, guys. TikTok did exceptionally well. And I don't know, but it's been fucking you achieved the new go live for 10 hours. Go live for 10 hours. Damn. Okay. Okay. All right, I got a lot of fucking comments on what's the name. 53 fucking comments on fucking TikTok. I don't know why TikTok been pushing my shit out, but all right. Many of Sri Ramana's visitors appear to have an unsustainable curiosity about this state of self-realization, and they were particularly interested to know how a Gyani experienced himself in the world around him. Some of the questions he was asked on the subject reflected the bizarre notions that many people had about the state, but most of them tended to be variations of one of the 4 following questions. How can a Gyani function without any individual awareness of consciousness? Right? How can a Gyani function without any individual awareness of consciousness? 2, how can he say that he does nothing? A statement which Sri Ramana often made when others see him active in the world. He's going to answer all of these, right? How can I be on here talking about I'm not the doer? I do nothing. I've done nothing. I have not sinned. I have not stolen a goat. I have not eaten a burger. I have not hit my vape. How does he perceive the world? Does he perceive the world at all? 4, does the Gyani's awareness of pure consciousness relate to the altering states of the body and mind consciousness experienced in waking, dreaming, and deep sleep? The hidden premise behind all such questions is the belief that there is a person, listen, the Gyani, who experiences a state he calls the self. This assumption is not true. It is merely a mental construct devised by those who have not realized the self. Agyanis, right? Ones who have not realized the self, right? To make sense of the Gyanis experience. So those are people on the outside looking on the inside, trying to tell you what's happening on the inside. Those are the ones in the bleachers trying to tell you how to play the game and what you're not doing. Get your ass on the field. Get your ass on the court then, nigga. Fuck you talking about? Even the use of the word Gyani is indicative of this erroneous belief, since it literally means a knower of knowledge or knower of Gyani, the reality. The Agyani, right, the one who has not realized itself, uses this term because he imagines that the world is made up of seekers. He imagines that the world is made up of seekers of realities and knowers of reality. The truth of the self is that there are neither Gyanis or Agyanis. There is only Gyani. Sri Ramana pointed this out both directly and indirectly on many occasions, but few of his questioners were able to grasp it, even conceptually. The implications of such a statement. They were unable to grasp it, right? But because of this, he usually adapted his ideas in such a way that conformed to the prejudices of the listeners. If you want to get something down to people, to get the message to people, ain't this what they say in rap? You got to dumb it down. So he had to dumb down what he was saying because they did not get it. So he would say it in the actual and say what it is. And those who get it, they just automatically get it. For those who didn't get it, okay, let me elaborate. Okay, let me use this example. Okay, let me do it that fit. Let me speak of it in a way that fits your concepts. Sounds familiar? Don't you have to do the same shit when you're talking to people who don't understand the spiritual shit that you understand? Sounds familiar? All right. In most of the conversations in this chapter, he accepts that his questioners perceive a distinction between the Gyani and the Agyani. And without challenging, right, Trav, that's exactly why metaphors work. Facts. The magic of fucking metaphors, right? Without challenging the basis. Let's go back. In most conversations in this chapter, he accepts that his questioners perceive a distinction between the Gyani and the Agyani. And without challenging the basis of that assumption, he assumes the role of the Gyani and attempts to explain implications of being in that state. So here we go. That's it right there, Trav. A person can pull from their own, first of all, metaphor. That's why metaphors work so well, right? And that will be why we have to receive a book like Bhagavad Gita. You see what I'm saying? A book like the Upanishads, a book like the goddamn Bible. It's a book of fucking metaphors. Because you're not going to be able to relay this to everybody. You're going to have to create a character in a movie and give them an antagonist, protagonist situation that they can relate back to their own life. A person can pull from their own library of correspondences. Update your library of correspondences, as a motherfucker named Travis Majors would tell you. Question. Let's start. Question. What is the difference between the Bada and the Mukta? The bound man and the liberated one. The ordinary man lives in the brain, unaware of himself, in the heart. The Gyani city or Siddha, or the Gyani, lives in the heart. When he moves about and deals with men and things, he knows what he sees is not separate from the one supreme reality, the Brahman, which is realized in the heart as his own self, the real. That's the real hip hop. What about the ordinary man? I have just said that he sees things outside himself. He is separate from the world, from his own deeper truth, from the truth that supports him in what he sees, from his own concepts. He cannot see outside of his own concepts. The man who has realized the supreme truth of his own existence realizes that it is the one supreme reality that is there behind him, behind the world. In fact, he is aware of the one as the real, the self in all selves, in all things, eternal and immutable or immutable, in all that is impermanent and mutable. What is the realization between the pure consciousness realized by the jnani in the I amness, which is accepted as the primary datum of experience or datum of experience? The undifferentiated consciousness of pure being is the heart of the hydrium, which is, what the fuck does that mean? Can't find it. If anybody wants to look up that word and drop that in the chat, I know it's a Hindi word, right? But obviously it means the heart. The undifferentiated consciousness of pure being is the heart, or the what's the name word, which is what you really are. From the heart arises the I amness as a primary datum of one's experience. By itself, it is completely pure. Sudha Sattva in character. It is in this form of pristine purity, or the Sudha Sattva Shwapra, uncontaminated by Rajas and Tamas, activity and inertia, that the I appears to subsist in the Jnani. In the Jnani, the ego subsists in the pure form, and therefore it appears as something real. Am I right? The appearance of the ego in any form, either in the Jnani or the Ajnani, is itself an appearance. It's not real. But the Ajnani, who is deluded into thinking that the waking state in the world are real, the ego also appears to be real. Since he sees the Jnani act like other individuals, he feels constrained to posit some notion of individuality with the reference to the Jnani also. So what is he saying here? If the person who's looking at a so-called self-realized person, and that self-realized person is claiming that I don't do anything, I am not the doer, I have no actions, and the person who has not realized himself, who thinks the world, obviously think, even though he may be like, oh, this is an illusion, but you're still moving around and still view the world as real. You're saying that, but your ego is still attached to the body mind complex and the aspect of thinking that it is real. So when you see someone who is proclaimed as the one who has known the self, who is self-realized, and that person who is self-realized saying that he is not the doer, it composes constraints on that person. They don't get it. They don't understand it. Like, but you are doing. I'm seeing you do this, and you're saying this, and you're doing this, and you're picking up this cup, and you're hitting this vape. He cannot understand it. He cannot see it because he cannot see outside of his fucking concepts. Remember that. Because right now, damn, I did tell that motherfucker that shit. Let's see. All right. Question. How then does a aham vritti, the I thought, the sense of individuality, function in the jnani? No, that's facts right there, Treya. And that right there is why you cannot save the world. People can only see through their lenses of concepts, man. They're not going to see it. They're not going to see it. It does not function in him at all. The Gyani's real nature is the heart itself, because he is one and identical with the undifferentiated, pure consciousness, referred to by the Upanishads as the pragyani or pragyana, full consciousness. Pragyana is truly Brahman, the absolute, and there is no Brahman other than the pragyana. Does Gyana, does a Gyani have sankalpas? Sankalpas, which means desires, right? Sankalpas. The main quality of the ordinary mind are tamas and rajas, sloth and excitement, right? Hence, it is full of egotistic desires and weakness. But the Gyani's mind is sada, sattva, pure harmony, and formless, functioning in the subtle Vijnana Maya Kosha sheath of knowledge, right? Is functioning in the subtle Vijnana Maya Kosha, which is the sheath of knowledge, through which he keeps contact with the world. His desires are therefore also pure. What you have to say? Every dumbass must remain a dumbass until they realize better concepts. Mm-mm-mm. Question: if the Gyani and the Agyani perceive the world in like manner, where's the difference between them? Seeing the world, the Gyani sees seeing the world, the Gyani sees the self, which is the substratum of all that is seen. The Agyani, whether he sees the world or not, is ignorant of his true being, the self. Take the instance of moving pictures on the screen in the cinema show, right? So take the movies, right? Which is there in front of you, before the play begins, merely on the screen. Right? Hold on, let's read that again. Take for instance the moving of pictures on the screen in the cinema show. What is there? What is there in front of you before the play begins? Merely the screen. On that screen, you see the entire show. And for all appearances, the picture is real. But go and try to take a hold of them. Take a hold of Eddie Murphy on the goddamn TV screen. What do you take hold of? Merely the screen which the pictures appeared after the play. When the pictures disappear, what remains? The screen again. And that's who you are. You are the screen. What you are is the screen that everything appears on. Travis Majors is appearing on my screen as something different from me. Cool. Zero. Sir Impeccable. Everybody that's in here and everybody that's watching, you are just appearing on the screen. So if the self, so with the self, so he's saying, so that is the same with the self. That alone exists. The pictures come and go. If you hold on to the self, you will not be deceived by the appearance of the pictures, nor does it matter at all if the pictures appear or disappear. Ignoring the self, the Agyani thinks the world is real. Just as ignoring the screen, he sees merely pictures, as if they existed apart from it. If one knows that without the seer, there is nothing to be seen, if one knows that without the seer, there is nothing to be seen, just as there are no pictures without the screen, one is not deluded. The Gyani who knows that the screen and the Gyani who knows that the screen and the pictures are only the self. With the pictures, the self is in its manifest form. Here it is. With the pictures, the self is in its manifest form. Without the pictures, it remains in the unmanifest form. To the Jnani, it is quite immaterial if the self is in the one form or the other. He is always the self. But the Agyani, seeing the Jnani activates, active gets confounded. So let's read that again. To the Jnani, it is quite immaterial if the self is in the one form or the other. He is always the self. But the Agyani, the one who has not realized the self, seeing the Jnani active, gets confounded. So, question: does Bhagavan see the world as a part and parcel of himself? Does Bhagavan see the world as a part and a parcel of himself? How does he see the world? The self alone is and nothing else. However, it is differentiated owing to ignorance. However, it is differentiated owing that to ignorance. So the only way that you see differences is because you are ignorant. Differentiated is threefold. Let's see. One, of same kind. Two, of a different kind. And three, as a part in itself. The world is not another self similar to the self. It is not different from the self, nor is it part of the self. You get what he's saying here? There is no different parts of consciousness. It's only consciousness. There is no, oh, I am a part of God. Oh, I am a child of God. No. You are God. That is it. Finished. Done. Wrap it up. The world is neither the self or the. Okay, I already read that. Let's read it again. The world is neither is neither. The world is not another self similar to the self. It is not different from the self, nor is it apart from the self, nor is it part of the self. It is not. Is it not the word reflected on the self? For a reflection, there must be an object and an image, but the self does not admit of these differences. Does a Jnani have dreams? Yes, he does dream, but he knows it is a dream. In the same way, he knows the waking state to be a dream. You may call them dream number one and dream number two. I got to tell my girl about that. Dream number one and dream number two. Which brings me back to a dream that I have. Dream 222. I told y'all the story about Dream 222. And I told you it was this tall, bald head nigga walking, following me. I thought he was chasing me, but he wasn't chasing me. He was trying to get me to Dream 222 inside of that dream. And it was this tall, bald headed, slim nigga just looking like he didn't have a care in the motherfucking world. I'm not saying nothing, I'm just saying something. Didn't have to share, but I shared it. The Jnani being established in the fourth state, the Turiya, the supreme reality. He detachedly witnessed the three other states, waking, dreaming, and dreamless sleep, as pictures superimposed on it. For those who experience waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, the state of wakeful sleep, which is beyond those three states, is named Turiya, the fourth. But since Turiya alone exists, and since the seeming three states do not exist, know for certain that Turiya is itself Turiyatya, which transcends the fourth. For the Jnani, then, there is no distinction in between these three states in the mind. Peace, 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 cool. Holla at you, my guy. Holla at you, my guy. For the Jnani, then, there is no distinction between these three states of the mind. How can there be? when the mind itself is dissolved and lost in the light of consciousness. The Jnani, for the Jnani, all the three states are equally unreal. But the Jnani is unable to comprehend this. But the Agyani is unable to comprehend this. For him, the standard of reality is the waking state. Whereas the Jnani, the standard of reality is reality itself. Let's highlight that. This reality of pure consciousness is eternal by its nature and therefore subsists equally during what we call waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. To him who is one with that reality is neither the mind nor its three states, and therefore neither introversion or extroversion. He is the ever waking state because he is awake to the eternal self. What the fuck? His is the ever changing, his is the ever dreaming state, because to him the world is no better than a repeatedly presented dream phenomenon. His is the ever sleeping state because he is at all times without the body I am consciousness. He's without the body consciousness. Questioner, is there no Dihatma Buddhi? So is there no I am the body idea for the Jnani? If, for instance, Sri Bhagavan is bitten by an insect, is there a sensation? There is the sensation, and there is also I am the body idea. The latter is common for both Jnani and Agyani. With this difference, the Agyani thinks only the body is myself, whereas the Agyani knows all is the self. Or this is Brahman. If there be a pain, let it be. It is also part of the self. The self is Purna, perfect. Do you see how the Jnani deciphers between the difference? It's not that he's stupid, not that he's fucking dumb, but he know all is the self and there is no separation. Sorry, y'all. We're going to have to end at page 24. So what it looks like this going to be, we're going to end at page 25 is what I mean. We're going to end at page 25. We may start having to do just chapters. So anybody that I'm letting down with that one, I'm sorry. So after transcending the Detma Buddhi, one becomes a Jnani. In the absence of that idea, there cannot be either Kartrivi or doership or a doer. So after that state, there cannot be a doer or doership. Doership or a doer. There can't be. So Jnani has no karma. So a Jnani has no karma. That is, a Jnani performs no actions. That is his experience. A Jnani performs no actions. That is his experience. Otherwise, he is not a Jnani. However, the Agyani identifies a Jnani with his body, which the Jnani does not do. I see you doing things. How can you say that you never perform actions? Did you hear what Trav just said right there? That's what we've been saying, man. Talking about karma. What karma when you know that you are the self? When you have full conviction that you are the self. You have karma if you identify as the body mind. You have it. You have to see this. So the question says, I see you doing things. How can you say you are not the performer of actions? The radio sings and peaks, but if you open it, you will find no one inside. Ooh, that was a cold one. The radio sings and peaks, but if you open it, you will find no one inside. Similar, my existence is like the space. Though this body speaks like a radio, there is no doer. There was no one inside as a doer. I am blameless, sinless. I am a passport holder and a resident of motherfucking heaven. God damn. God damn. Here we go. It's right here. I find this hard to understand. Could you please elaborate on this? Facts, Trav. You will never hear. You never did any of this. I have not sinned. I have not stole the goat. Thou shalt not worship any other gods before thee. You have not worshipped any other gods. You have only been worshiping the self under the illusion of other gods. 10 Commandments. So let him cook. What do you say? Various illustrations are given in books to enable us to understand how the Jnani can live and act without the mind, although living and acting require the use of the mind. The potter wheel goes on turning round, even after the potter has ceased to turn it because the pot is finished. In the same way, the electric fan goes on revolving for some minutes after the switch of the current. The power body, or the predestined karma, which is created by the body, will make it go through whatever activities was meant for it. Are y'all hearing that? There's your karma. You're gonna, and listen, you think you're doing something. That is nature. That is nature. Your karma of the body and the mind is set. Look at your goddamn astrology. But okay. But the Jnani goes through all of these activities without the notion that he is the doer of them. It is hard to understand how this is possible. It's hard to explain. The illustration generally given is the Jnani. The illustration generally given is the Jnani. Is that the Jnani performs. Hold on, where is it at? The illustration generally given is that the Jnani performs actions in some such way as a child that is roused from sleep to eats, but does not remember next morning. Okay, let's read that over. So the illustration generally given to the Jnani given is that the Jnani performs actions in some such way as a child that is roused from sleep to eats, but does not remember next morning that it ate. Ooh, that's a cold one right there. Damn. It has to be remembered that all these explanations are not for the Jnani. He knows and has no doubts. He knows that he is not the body, and he knows that he is not doing anything through, even though his body may be engaged in some activity. These explanations are for the onlookers who think of the Jnani as one with a body and cannot help identifying him with his body. So that has to be given to the person who doesn't understand. At this point, you either get it or you don't, Trav. Right. In a trance, a dream, freedom. Freedom! Talk about freedom. Freedom. We finna end this, y'all. Right here where it says the doer. At the top of page 25. It says, there are various controversies or schools of thought as to whether a Gyani can continue to live in his physical body after realization. Some hold that one dies and can some hold that one who dies cannot be a Gyani because his body must vanish into air, or some such thing. They put forward all sorts of funny notions. If a man must at once leave his body when he realizes the self, I wonder how any knowledge of self or the state of realization can come to any other men. And that would mean that all those who have given us the fruits of self-realization in books cannot be considered Gyanis because they went on living after realization. And if it is held that a man cannot be considered a Gyani so long as he performs actions in the world, and an action is impossible without the mind, remember that, then not only the great sages who carried on various kinds of work, attaining Jnana, must be considered agyanis, ones who has not self-realization, but the gods also, and Ishwara, the supreme personal god of Hinduism himself. Since he continues looking after the world, the fact is that any amount of action can be performed, and performed quite well, by the Gyani without his identifying with himself with it in any way or ever imagining that he is the doer. Some power acts through his body, uses his body to get the work done. You think this is me doing this? I am my Father. You see me, you see the Father. I'm doing none of this. I'm doing none of this. Well, let's finish this last one. Is a Gyani able to is a Gyani capable or likely to commit sins? You should know the answer to this. A Gyani sees someone as an Agyani sees someone as a Gyani and identifies him with the body. Because he does not know the self and mistakes his body for the self, he extends the same mistake to the Gyani. He extends his self to the Gyani. Oh, y'all, the last two ride or die motherfuckers. That's what's up, my guy. The Gyani is therefore considered to be the physical frame. Because not that the Gyani is a physical frame. He don't see himself as that. But those who have not identified themselves as that see themselves as that. Again, since the Agyani, though he is not the doer, imagines himself to be the doer and considers the actions of the body his own. He thinks the Gyani to be similarly acting when the body is acting. Who is doing that acting? Those are the 5 elements doing the acting, bro. That is Prakriti doing the acting, bro. But the Gyani himself knows the truth and is not confounded. The state of a Gyani cannot be determined by the Agyani, and therefore the question troubles only the Agyani and never arises in the Gyani. Let's read that again, man. So you trying to predict and project your shit on somebody else, telling them they don't know, they ain't got no spiritual knowledge, they don't know nothing. When they're talking about shit like this, and you talking about why are you doing this, or why you talk like this, and why you dress like this, and you are doing this, and you are doing that. You projecting your shit. That doesn't exist within me. When I say there is no spiritual journey, when I say all of this is an illusion, and all actions are done by Prakriti, I mean that. And you, as a human being can come back on your spiritual journey and say, don't diminish the spiritual journey. It's all about the journey. It is a journey. It is this God. There is this. For me, that is not. Go. Let's go back. But the Jnani himself knows the truth and is not confounded. Now let's read it again. Again, the Jnani, the Ajnani, though he is not the doer, imagines himself to be the doer and considers the action of the body his own. Right? He thinks the Jnani to be similarly acting when the body is active. But the Jnani himself knows the truth and is not confounded. The state of a Jnani cannot be determined by an Ajnani, and therefore the question troubles the Ajnani and never arises for the Jnani. If he is a doer, he must determine the nature of his actions. The self cannot be the doer. Find out who is the doer, and the self is revealed, nigga. But where about everybody else? So if I want to eat me some motherfucking chicken gizzards, if I want to smoke my motherfucking vape, if the body wants to smoke the vape, and you come over here talking about, man, you need to be smoking a vegan vape. Why are you smoking vegan vape? I mean, all that shit. Man, listen here, man. Okay, you right. Let's see. The fact that we understand this information at a young age with no physical guru, I think is very telling. That's what I be talking about. Man, Trav, bro, come on. Come on. That same shit I be talking about, bro. Same shit I be talking about. Follow along with your next comment. Powerful comments at work. Don't treat, man. I was just thinking the same thing. Y'all the only niggas in here thinking the same thing. We all thinking the same thing. Ooh, yeah, boy, I ain't gonna make it. Because we got a part 3, part 2. Sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. God damn. I gotta do number 1, 2, and 3. And I'm hungry. God damn it. I'm sorry, dog. I should have ate before, I know. But y'all have been here the whole 3 fucking hours. And I appreciate the fuck out of y'all for that. So still so fucking young. I'm so excited for this journey. You know you ain't on no goddamn journey. You know that shit, but I get you. You know I'm fucking with you. Fucking with you, Don Tree. They call me confused because they confused. That's it, bro. That's it. You trying to impress the hoes. He was telling on himself. Remember the dude told me that? Like, man, you don't know what Bobby him was talking about. You just get on here trying to impress these hoes, nigga. You lame as hell. You don't know shit. That's what you trying to do with your shit, with the shit that he does. Because he does some shit. And so, and obviously he thinks he's the body and the mind. Nigga, you trying to impress these hoes, nigga. You got no hoes to impress. The fuck? Nigga? But yeah, y'all. This is gonna conclude it today, which means we have to finish right there. I ain't gonna forget because I got it right there. I ain't gonna forget, we got it right there. We got it right there. Oh, hold up. Well, let me do this then. This is very unorthodox, but let me read this because Trav did say something about this. We literally gonna end it right after this. Trav did say, wait till you read part 2 of chapter 3. So let's see. Part 2, inquire and surrender. I exist. So the statement I exist is the only permanent self-evident experience of everyone. That's what I say. You can't deny. You can deny every spiritual thing, but you cannot deny the self. Nothing else is so self-evident as I am. What people call self-evident, that is the experience they get through the senses, your 5 senses, is far from self-evident. What you call self-evident is far from self-evident because you're speaking about the senses. The self alone is that. So to do self-inquiry and be that I am is the only thing to do. I am is reality. I am this or that is unreal. I am this or that is unreal. I am this. I am. Hold up. Let's read it again. I am is reality. I am this or that is unreal. I am is truth, another name for the self. Check this out. Let's finish this. Man, I didn't even want to highlight. Devotion is nothing more than knowing one's self. What is bhakti yoga? Surrendering, devotional, a devotional surrender. Surrender yourself to God. Surrender yourself to the self, to consciousness. Worship consciousness. Worship the self. Devotion is nothing more than knowing oneself. On scrutiny, supreme devotion and jnana are in nature one. So jnana yoga and bhakti yoga are one in the same. They are one in the same. To say that one of these two path, to say that one of these two is to say that one of these two is a means to the other side, is a means to the other, is okay. Let me read that shit. Oh, I'm fucking up. On scrutiny, supreme devotion and jnana yoga are in nature one and the same. To say that one of these two is a means to the other is due to not knowing the nature of either of them. Know the know that the path of jnana and the path of devotion are interrelated. Follow these inseparable two paths without dividing one from the other. What try to say? People get so scared of surrender and devotion. Yeah. Because surrender and devotion does what to the ego? Obliterates that bitch. That bitch gets obliterated. That bitch gets obliterated. Ain't none on no nothing. Ain't none on no nothing. It ain't nothing on no nothing with that. So with that being said, y'all, we have not concluded chapter 2. So what we may end up doing is doing a chapter every Sunday, which we're gonna be doing this shit for goddamn 20 Sundays. 20 Sundays. I appreciate y'all. Much love, and as always, no obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. Those are not obstacles, those are opportunities for you to realize a fucking self. Stand on principle, stand on purpose, and it's a standard operating procedure. As always, mad love, peace, love, and hair grease. Bitch.